I'm designing an automatic farm for every single item in the game of Minecraft. That's over 1,400 items, and I'm so close to completing this goal. Hello there, Ray here. With AutoCrafters and Playerless snow farms, getting tons of snow manually is a thing of the past, as just with a few minutes you can build this simple contraption which is efficient at producing a never-ending source of snow. Now we can't just place in our snow farm anywhere, as golems will take damage in savanna, badlands, desert, and the nether dimensions. And if you put it in spawn chunks, it can run 24/7, or if you have it chunk loaded at your base. Otherwise, put it in a location where it's commonly loaded by players. You can learn how to get spawn chunks and chunk loading working with this video here, which I'll put in the description. Now that you found your location, we're going to place in our first block between two chunks, which you can see by doing F3 plus G, and then in the center of those. This block needs to be blast resistant, and then we're going to go out 3 from each direction of this block. I use crying obsidian because it's really cheap block to get in large amounts when you have a piglin bartering. Now we're going to connect up the centers just like this, so we have a big enough platform for the TNT to land and destroy the snow without actually destroying the rest of the farm and the collection system. Alternatively, you can come in with leaves, but you have to make sure that these are waterlogged so the TNT can't blow them up. And just like this, you are done with the main centerpiece and are ready to come in with the leaves. We're going to place down leaves 5 blocks in 2 directions. So this side 5 and this side also a total of 5. And then on the other 2 sides, we're going to go out just 1 block. We're using leaves because there are a block that honey won't stick to, so we can have a flying machine go through here. And they're also cheap to get in large amounts just by using a shears on a tree to get however many you need. We're going to go ahead and fill in this whole square with leaves now. Now it will look like this, and we are ready to put in the collection system. So we're going to come to this end and we're going to remove 1 block all the way along this entire length. Then we're going to build up this along the edge here. This is going to collect the items that get pushed off by the flying machine. We're then going to come in with the leaves on top of all of this. This will prevent the items from getting pushed too far. Now on this backside, we're going to place in 2 ladders here. We're going to skip a space, place 1 ladder, skip 2 spaces, and place in 1 ladder. These ladders will stop the actual snowmen from falling in the same hole. Now we'll come in with the water on the side that has the double ladders, and we'll put that in. You can see it goes all the way to here. And then right at the end, we're going to knock out this block and this block, as well as this block and this block. This is where we're going to place in the chest back here, and then we're going to place in hoppers pointing into that chest to collect all the snowballs. And then we can come in from this side over here and access the chest by removing these blocks here. Now we will mirror this onto the other side. While I'm clicking blocks into place, click that subscribe button. So now it will look like this. Now on the left side and on the edge that has the single ladder, we're going to come in and move this back over here, and then come in with a solid block right here, and then another one up here. If you're afraid endermen are going to steal your dirt, you can always switch it out with a block they can't pick up. We're going to place redstone here, then another full block over here, and then that's going to go into another full block right here, which is going to have a repeater, which is going to be on full delay, and then that's finally going to go into a block over here. This entire redstone system is just going to turn around the flying machine and swap out this block for a leaf block. Next up, we're going to build the flying machine, which is going to be on the opposite side. We're going to start on the far side, and we're going to use honey. You cannot use slime. We're going to take it all the way out to here and place in a honey block there, and then swap out this one with a leaf so it doesn't stick to it. On the back side right here is going to be a piston that is sticky, and another one that is over here with another honey block right here. Then before we put in the components to make it fly, we're going to come in with the part that actually turns around and shuts it off with a full block there. That goes into a block over here, and then into a immovable block, which can also be like a furnace. That's going to go into a solid block over here, which is going to have a trap door. Then we're going to connect some redstone here, as well as a repeater on full delay, with a lever right here, which is going to be the on and off switch. So now we're ready to put in the observers, which are going to make the fly machine actually move. One that's pointing into this block here, and another one which is pointing over top of this piston. Now when we update this by flipping this lever here, it's going to activate the fly machine, which are going to move one segment, and then the next segment is going to pull the other one, And then when it reaches the far side, one of the observers is going to activate redstone coming on this side, activating the opposite side of the fly machine, sending it the opposite direction. And this piece over here will do the exact same thing, except we're using a trapdoor instead of a piston. Now the fly machine will just keep going back and forth indefinitely. The fly machine will be used to move the golem so we get tons of snow layers across the entire machine, as well as collect all of the loot. So next up, we need to put in the TNT duper, so let's go ahead and turn it off. This is going to be placed in the center, so from the center we're going to go up 3 blocks here, then we're going to place in an observer pointing upwards right there. That's going to go into a solid block, and then we're going to have a solid block over here. And then this is going to go into kind of a stair-stepping, zigzagging upwards, where there is a total of 5 glass. These could also be top slabs. Now we're going to come in and place in redstone. This is going to send the signal from the fly machine passing by to activate the TNT duper. This is going to go into a block here, which is going to have a repeater on full delay. Then we're going to have a sticky piston out the front of this, pointing this direction, and this is going to go into what is going to be the TNT duper. I'm using a design from my video here, which is really simple to set up. We just make this shape out of slime, we come in with a wall or fence there, then we come in with a detector rail this direction, and a minecart on top of that, and then we're going to have a dead coral fan up against this side here. Don't put the TNT in right there, but instead put it right here, and then the next time it moves, it'll pick it up without it activating prematurely. Then on the sides of this TNT, we're going to come in with some full blocks on these 3 sides just to align it a little better so it drops straight downwards. And these blocks should be of higher blast resistance like stone. If you don't want to use a TNT duper, you can always come in with a dispenser that dispenses out TNT. Now lastly, we just need to protect this components over here from the explosion. You just can't waterlog this block here, but instead need some type of obsidian, otherwise this golem will take damage from that water. Or you can get this obsidian just by placing lava up against this water. And now we can go ahead and turn it on and watch the fly machine go underneath, activate the observer, which is going to activate the redstone, which is going to move the TNT duper, duplicating 1 TNT, and then the TNT will explode. Also notice by the time it explodes, the fly machine is the farthest away, and all the leaves are far enough away so they can't get destroyed. Next up is an important step, leaving a like on the video. Now the last thing to add is the snow golems, which is also the most important thing, so we can actually get some snow out of this. So putting in the snow golems is really important where exactly they are placed in. We're going to start on the far side here, but placing in a rail. Then we're going to place in some snow like this. We're going to place a carved pumpkin, and then quickly switch to a minecart. So carved pumpkin goes there, we put it in the minecart right on the same block as the golem is sitting, and then we just come forward and push it. This way you can easily get the golem into the minecart without having to do any fanciness. Now this golem needs to be sitting right between these 2 blocks, so it produces snow layer there and there. And pressing F3 plus B lets you see these hitboxes. Now we go on to make the next snow golem, which is going to be between these 2 blocks. We're going to do the exact same thing and put in the pumpkin and quickly put in the minecart and push it before the golem runs away. And then once again, we're going to push this golem so that its minecart is sitting between this block and this block. We'll do the same thing for the 3rd golem here. If you have a golem that escapes, you just have to kill it and start over again. Another way you could do this is by putting a minecart here and then producing the golem over here and then pushing the golem into the minecart, which can be easier for some people. Now this golem is also sitting between these 2 blocks. The last 2 golems have to be split between these 3 blocks. Then we're going to put in the golem into this one here, but instead of pushing it directly between these 2 blocks, we're going to make it a little bit further on the left block. So the minecart's sitting just like this. Now the next golem we're going to come back a ways just so we have some room to work with, and the last golem will be placed in like this here. But instead we're going to push it with the majority of it on the leaf side over here with a little bit on the obsidian side. So it should look like this so that these 2 minecarts have a little bit of a gap between them. Then we can come in and remove the rails here. Now all the golems are ready to get moved by the fly machine. So if we just go over here and start it, the machine will automatically come through and start pushing them. Once it gets to the far side, it's going to clip them inside of the honey, which is where we want them to be. So now that they're stuck inside, that is perfect. They are also moving along so that a little bit of themselves ends up hanging over. That's what creates these new snow layers. And then once they pass the duper comes in and destroys a bunch of the snow, producing snowballs. Then the machine comes back through and will push all the snowballs up against the side here. They might kind of clip up against the edges, but they'll eventually fall down into the water system and get collected into the chest here. To stop the golems from fighting with hostile mobs, make sure to come in with plenty of light so you don't have any mobs nearby. You also might want to come in with some walls to stop the golems from hitting some skeletons and then starting a fight, which the golems are definitely going to lose. Now if you happen to build the farm in a biome that doesn't produce snow but instead produces rain, we're going to have to come in with a roof over top of these golems so that when it rains they don't die from it. You can build this out of any full block and it just needs to cover all the areas which the golems are moving through. And if you choose to build the farm in a snowy biome or the end dimension, you can save a few minutes from having to build the roof. And make sure to have a lightning rod within 64 blocks, that way your golems don't get struck. It's very productive, so place in a lot of chests, or you can automatically have these snowballs being crafted into snow blocks or layers by using my auto crafters here, which I'll link below. And just in 1 hour, this machine can produce 24,000 snowballs. Found this helpful? Consider leaving a donation. See how I made a dragon farm, beacon farm, and much more in this playlist here. Help me continue to produce these farms for free by joining as a YouTube member. You can join for as little as $1, and there is perks that go along with it. Otherwise, share this video with one of your favorite Minecrafters. Bye bye!